What do you mean we're not going to a distillery? We always go to a distillery. All right, how about a winery? No. No alcohol at all? Where? We're going to Hawk's Nest. When I first got into motorcycling, I quickly noticed up on some of the forums all this talk about a place called Hawk's Nest. It's in the tri-state area of Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey. People would post pictures of it, make plans to visit, and I knew I had to get up there soon. Well, my first visit was 17 years ago, and I've been back many times since. Today's report is about our most recent visit just a couple of weeks ago. We made our way up north towards Port Jervis, New York, formerly known as Mahakamac in the late 1600s. So, let's get on the road. After being raided and burned during the American Revolutionary War, it was rebuilt over the next 2 decades and later became known as Port Jervis in the mid-1800s, being named after John Bloomfield Jervis. The canal and eventually the railroad was at the heart of the Port Jervis economy, but by the mid-1970s the decline of the railroad has left Port Jervis struggling to find a new economic basis. We made a left off of Route 209 and onto 42, which led us to Route 97 towards Sparrowbush. Hawk's Nest is probably the most well-known segment of Route 97, the 70.5-mile scenic route that takes you from Port Jervis to Hancock, New York. And though it's a short ride through its most popular segment, the rest of the ride doesn't disappoint with decent road conditions and great views of mountains and the Delaware River. When riding through, though, one can be torn between either completing this segment or stopping for a view. I recommend going through from one end to the next, turning around, and then stopping for the view. Once a dirt road in the 1800s, the Hawk's Nest portion nearly didn't materialize, as the original upgrade plans were to have that portion to be a shoreline route. However, the Erie Railroad declined to sell the needed right-of-way, which forced the state to construct the improvement along the cliffside instead. The place to eat up there used to be the Hawk's Nest Cafe. Unfortunately, it burned down in 2002, just months after my first visit. Bought by Ron Babcock in 1999, the restaurant boasted a spectacular view of the Delaware River from its rear deck and was extremely popular among motorcyclists. There was talk for some time about Ron rebuilding the place, but searches I've done on that status these days doesn't seem to go past articles from 2010, where he had hopes of opening again in 2011. At this point, I assume those plans no longer exist. As seen here in this most recent video, only its footprint remains and some evidence of its sign. Notice the view it had from what was its deck out back. From that point, it was another 16 miles to the carriage house in Barryville, New York. It was built in the early 1900s and is considered a designated landmark, and seems to be the go-to place for bikers these days, with the absence of the Hawk's Nest Cafe. From there, we made our way east across the Delaware on Route 434 to head home. Next time, I think we'll go the distance up to Hancock, New York. It's beautiful and scenic the whole way. You heading out for a smoke? Yeah, I'm just about to finish up here. All right. Burning daylight. Go to Hawk's Nest, and we'll see you down the road. Nice hat. Yeah, well, you can't have it. What?